I don't like people saying, because I believe, you want to talk debates, MJ, LeBron, you could say Jordan would have never had a game like that. I heard Adam Shine say it this morning, Shine on Sports, right? But that, to me, I throw that, it's like, well, MJ didn't play till he was in his 40s, LeBron's career, wire to wire, is like nothing we've ever seen. I don't know if I can say we won't see again because of where we're moving now with the way everybody takes care of their bodies and some of the treatments that are out there. And, that's great. That's the evolution of sports and sports medicine. Scotty's ready to say something here. But I think the comparison is not necessarily fair because LeBron's body of work is so huge. You can pick apart some of his failures. On the other side of that, when you talk about Michael Jordan, his career was somewhat compact, but at the same time, he didn't have much failure at all. When Jordan, here's my thing about LeBron and Luka, right? When Michael Jordan came out of retirement and joined the Bulls in 1994, when he came back to playing, I'm sorry, it was 95. It was the spring of 95. And they lost to the Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was a team that had been put together late in the season. It was like, oh, Michael's back. Everything's going to be fine. Like, it takes a minute. And I think that's what we saw with the Lakers this year. The addition, this is not like, because I was here joking yesterday with Scotty earlier this week, like, well, you've got LeBron and Luka. Why aren't you winning a title? It's not that simple. And JJ Redick being a first-year head coach, I don't think that helps. I think he's like in his process, but I don't think that helps. Scotty, what do you got to say right now? Because I know you're jonesing to get in here.
I'm content to sit this one out unless you want.
What do you got? No,
you can't bring up LeBron's legacy without me jumping in here. Okay, so I'm sorry, Bear.
I didn't know you were the bear of the legacy.
I am an advocate of the legacy.
Okay,
because I think no player has been more strictly and harshly under a microscope and judged for 22 years.
There's something weird going on with this mic, by the way. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Then LeBron James.
Okay.
So here's Bear the Truth. I'll just say facts. I won't be a fanboy.
Okay.
So you said, I don't know if we'll never see this again, but we might. And you talked about longevity. We've seen longevity. Vince Carter had a very long, good NBA career, Hall of Fame NBA career, right? Steph Curry might play into his 40s. Like, he looks great, and he's in his late 30s now, right?
Yeah.
So like, you're right as far as longevity goes. Here's what we will not see again. Bear the Truth, LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. LeBron James is fourth all-time in the NBA in assist. He is also the all-time leading scorer in the playoffs and assist in the playoffs. On top of playing forever at a very high level. When he came into the league at 18, he was immediately a top 10 player in the league and very quickly a top 5 player in the league. Today, he's a borderline top 5 player in the NBA and probably solidly like 9th or 10th best player in the NBA at age 40. That I don't think we'll ever see again. I don't think we'll ever see it again.
No, but
that level of excellence for that long, I don't think we'll ever
I agree, but we'll never see the domination that we saw from Jordan.
You're right.
And
you're probably right.
Because the one thing, and again, like, I don't know if it's a knock on LeBron or not a knock on LeBron, and I hate to be like wishy-washy, but I do live in reality where there's somewhat of a freaking gray area. Sorry, okay? I hate to take the pin out of the sports talk balloon, but it's true. Like, there's a gray area and stuff. That's just that's just how life is, okay?
1,000%.
We all want to win our sports arguments, but there is a gray area. And the Jordan debate for me, or the Jordan point for me, is that, like, there was a time when I used to root against Michael Jordan because, one, the Sixers and Barkley, and two, I just would root for the underdog because, they started to dominate. Once Michael took control of the league and there was that pendulum switch, right, or swing from Detroit to the Bulls, they never looked back, and he never missed a big shot, and it was just domination. And I watched too many games with MJ where I was like, oh, he's going to hit a shot to win. There's no doubt in my mind. And every time he came through with LeBron, it's just...
He didn't, but we'll look up those stats later if you want.
Come on. There was like...
We can look up those stats later if you want.
Every time he came through, Scotty, is sometimes he would be
Every time.
Sometimes he would be generous with the basketball and maybe find a Steve Kerr or a John Paxson, but more often than not, I don't remember him missing a shot to lose a huge game. I just don't. And LeBron, there's like, how many do you have? Now, there's more big games. I know, right?
Well, and here's what's so. This is what I hate about the debate.
Yeah.
And I hate that we just got sucked into it a little bit there. I hate that you just said, well, sometimes Michael would kick out to Steve Kerr or find a blah, 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 blah. Great. That's the good basketball play. You know what people crap on LeBron for doing? The same thing. Because he's a great passer and he's a passer first.
Well, okay, then why do you
always
think?
Has been.
Let me ask you this before we wrap this up, because I'm just curious, because I do appreciate your defense of LeBron. Why do you think people pick on LeBron? Is it because he's passive aggressive as a person?
No, and he's no. By the way,
because he is. He comes across like passive aggressive.
Okay, but let's not talk about character when we're comparing these two.
Oh, no.
Because it's not close, by the way. It's not remotely close. LeBron James has been married to his high school sweetheart, good dad, good person off the court by all accounts.
By all accounts, yeah, but there are some, there's, you
He's
know.
never had a scandal. He's never had a drug issue. He's never gambled. Like, he has been the consummate professional, good citizen off the court. He has been. Now, why are people so hard on him? Because he was anointed at 16. That's why. Because at 16, people were saying, he's the next Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He's better than Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
He's going to be the best player we've ever seen. And it's part of why I do defend him is because he did have that pressure, and then he mostly lived up to it. Like, he's not been Jordan, right? He hasn't averaged Jordan's numbers in the playoffs. He's not the same kind of basketball player as Michael Jordan. But he's mostly lived up to it. Like we said at 16, this could be the best basketball player ever. He's going to retire the all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
I'll say, too, the circumstances around, and you make very good points there. And they're fair points, and you're seeing the whole field. I think it's unfortunate, too, for LeBron that we are in this. I mean, you could say Michael Jordan made sports the business it is today, the billion-dollar business, or had a hand in that. And LeBron,
huge.
Yeah, and LeBron is now a part of that, and he certainly, the torch has been passed to him, and, it's amazing what he's doing financially and from a business perspective. But you can tell there's a lot more thought behind what LeBron is doing now. Like, I feel like a lot of LeBron's moves and motives are fueled by this argument, which is super weird, which Jordan never fell victim to, because there really was no argument. Maybe Jordan Magic.
Well, and again, because
and Michael did share the floor with those guys, so he could actually go out and beat Magic's ass and say, "Okay, now I have it." LeBron's playing against
past his prime, right?
Yeah, but LeBron's playing against a bunch of ghosts, really, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, totally. But there's a few things here. So, again, Michael wasn't at 16 declared the king and asked to be the greatest of all time. So again, LeBron has been working on this most of his life now. Like he has been anointed, and he's been trying to live up to this thing. The other thing about what you said that's interesting, Michael Jordan came around at a time that was so. I mean, we talk. This is a weird comparison, but maybe go with me on this. When quarterbacks get drafted in the NFL, we talk so often about fit. Like, who would Pat Mahomes be if he didn't have Andy Reid? He'd probably still be great. Yeah. We don't know. The fact is, those two together, dynamite. Michael Jordan came into the league at the perfect time. And so what LeBron will never match, and I'll give Jordan this all day, is the cultural influence and impact Michael Jordan had. You talked about sports world. The Jordan brand shoes, the commercials, the Space Jam, like all these things. Like, LeBron will never have the cultural influence Michael Jordan had. Yeah. And I think that's kind of like an NFL quarterback fitting into a team. That was like a fit into a slice of historic time where Michael perfectly aligned with the rise of the NBA, and it was made for each other, and he was made for TV, and it was a show.
Yeah.
LeBron will never beat that, right?
Yeah.
But what LeBron has done, he came into Kobe and Shaq's league and was immediately better than them. And all of these, here's what has happened. All of the next greatest player ever have come along, and LeBron just beats them. Yeah. It does happen. Yeah. We can talk about the Warriors dynasty and Steph Curry, but LeBron has been the best player in this league for 20 years. He has.
In one way or another, you could say that.
Yes. I mean, and I think the other thing, you talk to any current player in the NBA, you talk to an Ant Edwards, you talk to Luka, they're all talking about LeBron the same way Kobe talked about Michael Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he really has been this generation's influence, inspiration.
How much longer do you think he has left? I think one more year.
Dude,
I think last night.
I think this is the most, like, I would believe you if you said 1 year, and I would believe you if you said 5. No, I really would. Yeah. Just because people have been writing him off for 6 years anyway, and he's still going. And I know
he didn't look great last night, dude. And I'm not trying to be like
I hear you.
Bombastic or like he didn't look good.
No,
he looked old.
And he is going to have to transition and be content with transitioning to a phase where he's not the man. I mean,
I think we're there.
Maybe, but I think that's why the Luka trade has the potential to extend his career.
Yeah.
Because Luka can be the man. Now, clearly, they have a big offseason here. They need to get the right pieces for Luka to thrive, which is certainly some help in the post, like lob threats, those kind of, the Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford kind of thing. But if Luka can be the guy and if LeBron's content to play 4 more years averaging 15 points a game, I think he can play. If he's got to keep being Superman,
no, I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I agree.